Hello, world. Welcome to episode 102 of the Jimmy Canz Show. Classic Supercard Retrospective Time. Another Clash of the Champions. It's Clash 12. Brawl 90. Mountain Madness. A lot of subtitles. Let's get into it. Boom, boom, boom. All right. This was an NWA event promoted by WCW, held on September 5th, 1990, in Asheville, North Carolina, at the Asheville Civic Center. Attendance around 4,000. Broadcast live on TBS, the Superstation. 10 matches with the action called by Jim Ross, Bob Cottle. Let's get into those 10 matches. First match saw the Southern Boys versus the Freebirds. This feud, I should say, is kind of turning into a rock and roll midnight thing. These four men always seem to be facing each other. And I just have one other thing to say. Holy the South will rise again match. The amount of Confederate battle flags here was probably the most seen since the Battle at Appomattox Courthouse. This was first announced actually as a six-man, but Roberts came out with his arm in a sling, saying he had an arm injury. So it was turned into just a normal tag match. Both tandems then were just seconded by individuals, with the Southern Boys having old Bullet Bob Armstrong in their corner and the Birds with Buddy Roberts. A really decent tag match here. Actually, these four men did have decent chemistry and they could all go in the ring. So, I mean, it was a really good starter here, about 8.5 minutes. Southern Boys get the win with a dual sunset flip. Shocker, Roberts wasn't really hurt at all. As he pulls his arm out of the sling, tries to interfere in the match. And then, they end up jumping old Bullet Bob post-match, DDTing him, thus kind of continuing this feud. So that was our opener. Next up, old Captain Mike Rotunda took on Nature Boy Buddy Landell. 5.5 minutes. Captain Mike gets the win with a backslide. Not too much in this one. Like I said, there was no feud here. It's just kind of a match on the card with a kind of, let's just end this type finish. I mean, it was a backslide. So, yeah. Our second tag match of the night is next, the Lightning Express, consisting of one White Lightning Tim Horner and Candyman Brad Armstrong, taking on a new, very green debuting duo of the Master Blasters, Iron and Steel. Call me crazy, but I think this Steel guy might, be something someday. Just call it a hunch. This match, honestly, was probably most remembered for Iron missing a diving headbutt, not once, but twice, and kind of legit knocking himself silly in this bout. I think those two missed headbutts kind of made this whole duo kind of DOA out of the gate. They never got any momentum. Despite their impressive physiques and size and stuff, it was dead on arrival. Under 5 minutes, the Blasters did get the win here with a double shoulder block on Horner. They had plans for these guys, but it just didn't come to fruition. Fourth match and our third tag contest. It's the Nasty Boys, Jerry Saggs, Brian Knobbs, facing a team of Jacky Fulton and Terry Taylor. The Nasties get the win here after a big top rope elbow by Saggs, a little over the 7-minute mark. Pretty decent tag match, but again, it's a little oversaturation here. This is, 4 matches in and 3 tag matches in. So, Tommy Wildfire Rich gliding with Wild Bill Irwin in the 5th match of the night. This one goes under 5 minutes. Rich gets the win with a Thez press after Irwin missed a corner turnbuckle charge. Like I said, there was no feud here. There was no story here. It was just a match on the card, similar to our other singles match. So, unique situation next. Susan Sexton defending the LPWA championship against Bambi. WCW did not have a women's division. They made a deal with the LPWA here to have their title defended on their broadcast. I think it's a pretty good deal for the LPWA here. Gives them national exposure, but not all that great of a match. A lot of very slow ground combat here. Sexton retains. little over 4 minutes when she reverses Bambi's inside cradle into an inside cradle of her own. So nothing real spectacular here. Again, and it was a match that like no one was really vested in because, I mean, you've got a NWA, slash WCW crowd, and now you're giving them an LPWA match. They probably didn't know, anything about what was going on here. So it's pretty, in terms of just the fan reaction throughout the match. So next up, non-title, but another tag match nonetheless. Current U.S. tag champions, the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, taking on Maximum Overdrive, the Hunter and the Silencer. 6.5 minutes here. No one's surprised. Steiners get the win, obviously. I mean, Maximum Overdrive was just a jobber tag team. Steiners are champions, even though it's non-title. And they get the win with the top rope DDT. This was a finisher that I wish they continued to use longer. They kind of transitioned from the top rope DDT to the top rope Bulldog. But both were pretty impressive moves to see, especially back then. Next up, the Z-Man taking on the bad man from Borger himself, Stan the Lariat Hansen. Now, Hansen, let's be honest, he was the opposite of most American wrestlers. When you really look at the span of his career, instead of being that occasional attraction in Japan, he was, a constant, consistent, feature over in Japan and an occasional attraction here in the States. Really, when you look at it, how, his long career, 90% of it was spent in Japan. And, they're bringing him in here, they're hot-shotting him for a little while here. So no surprise, he does get the win over Z-Man. It's pretty dominant in this one as well over Z-Man. I said, I think 3.5 minutes. The Z-Man probably had a total amount of offense, maybe 20 seconds worth of total offense in 3.5 minutes, with Hansen getting the win with, you guessed it, the lariat. United States Championship match up next. Total package, Lex Luger putting that NWA US title on the line against 6-time former world champion and a 4-time former US champion in his own right, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. This is a classic Flair marathon, 15.5 minutes. And then the finish happens when Stan Hansen charges the ring and attacks Luger, leading to the disqualification, giving Luger a DQ victory, preserving, Flair, not taking any shine or steam off of Flair. Again, Flair didn't ask for the interference. It's just Hansen being Hansen. And this was really done to help, not really help, to actually set up Hansen versus Luger at Halloween Havoc the following month. So this is how they kind of got that one going. And last but not least, Sting's first nationally televised world title defense against the mysterious Black Scorpion. Man, that Black Scorpion angle, this was bad. And it lasted longer than it had any right to. Even though it didn't last all that long, it was still longer than it had any right being. For this particular event, the individual who portrayed Scorpion in the actual match was Al Perez. And scuttlebutt and word is that Perez was actually who they intended to be the Black Scorpion when the reveal finally happened. But I don't know if it was this gimmick, if it was the long-term plans, whatever it happened to be, whatever the rationale was, Perez was not happy and left the company shortly after this match. So that, this angle didn't play out the way they originally intended, but this is kind of the start of it. When this actual match, a little over 8 minutes, Stinger gets the win with a Stinger after a Stinger splash. So not the Scorpion deathlock finish that you're accustomed to after his Stinger splash. So, that's the whole card. What can you really say about this? Again, we got another clash with tons of tag matches and not many title matches. None of the tag team championship, none of the tag matches were title matches, despite your U.S. tag champs wrestling on the card. They wrestled in a non-title match. You had a women's title match from another promotion. um, this is a TV event, no TV champion. Uh, on an event called Clash of the Champions. I mean, this particular event should, really showcase the television championship. But anyway, Flair marathon match, smash finish. Despite the quality of the actual wrestling being pretty decent, most of these matches had no real story and nobody had real vested interest in a lot of them. I mean, the opener, there was a story there between the Southern Boys and the Freebirds. Perhaps it was too long of an ongoing story. None of the singles contests really had any meat or story to them aside from this, the Black Scorpion thing that they're trying to get going, which was bad, from the get. So, I don't know. Like I said, the Black Scorpion thing gets worse. But we'll kind of get into how bad that thing really got once we get to talking about Halloween Havoc. But I got to give this thing a rating. 10 belt scale. This show was bad. On a 10 belt scale, I'm giving this a 3. This was just not a good show. It helped continue the Scorpion angle. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if that was really a good thing. Set up a U.S. title match for Havoc. Helped kind of set up the U.S. tag, feud between Nasties and Steiners a little bit. And after the main, the confrontation between Sid and Sting that helped set up their title match a little bit, but it was just kind of forced it in there. So I just don't really see what this event accomplished in the grand scheme of things. So there you have it. Our next classic retro will be the aforementioned Halloween Havoc 90. So, give us a like, a share, subscribe wherever you are. I hope you're doing well. Take care of one another. I'll see you when I see you.